Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Krista, and I'm going to do this video because, I've been at home all week, and even though I was working from home, I wanted to feel more productive. And I think this is a topic which other moms, especially who will be going through this, will find helpful. I really had to do a lot of research when I found out that I had this condition, so I thought that I could contribute my own experiences para yung mga ibang mommy na madadiagnose nitong condition na to ay may makuha ding additional info na medyo current, especially for moms na magiging ka-generation ng aking baby. Okay, so my name is Krista. I am 32 years old and my baby is now 31 weeks. My little boy. So may pangalan na siya. Kaka-baby shower lang namin. Kaya dito sa likod ko may mga konti-konting baby stuff na ako. Ito pa lang yung part ng room na inayos ko. So, the rest of the room, the part that you're not seeing is still very, very messy. So, yun. Hindi pa ako like 100% nesting, pero getting there naman. Tapos, so mag-8 months na ako and I developed gestational diabetes. So, I have gestational diabetes. And today, that's what I'm going to talk about, what it is like to have gestational diabetes, and then I'm going to answer a few FAQs about it. Okay. So, sorry kung medyo hinihingal kasi malaki na sa baby ngayon and parang wala lang, hingalin lang talaga ako lately. And I went to the bathroom, tapos pagdating ko dito, hinihingal ako. Okay, so what is gestational diabetes? According to everything I've read online and what my doctors have said, it's a condition where a pregnant woman's blood sugar becomes higher than the normal. So, merong threshold. Usually, ang normal na blood sugar level, pag wala kang anything, if you're not buntis, is 100 and below for fasting, and I think 140 and below pagkatapos kumain. Pero pag buntis ka, yung ideal level is 95 and below. And then, dapat after kumain, 120 and below. So, yung measurement na yun, nakukuha siya through self-testing. Yung parang you do the self-pricking using home tool or through a blood test that you do in the hospital. So, usually, gestational diabetes develops in the 3rd trimester. Kasi yung after nung 7th month or nung 28th to 29th week, dun talaga yung hormones nagiging crazy. And yung mga buntis dyan, alam nyo na, pregnancy really does so many things to your hormones and your body. So, it's not just like just the changes na you feel, yung nakikita mo, ganyan. So, may mga things din like blood sugar, pati mood mo, ganyan. So, it's just one of the many things that happen when you get pregnant. Many women have it, many women don't. So, nagkataon lang ako, I developed it. Kumbaga, sometimes, one of the effects is yun nga, pregnant women struggle to manage their sugar. So, it just happens for some women. For other women naman, it could be that they were pre-diabetic, meaning meron na silang undetected na high blood sugar or undetected na diabetes. Maybe they weren't able to test before, whatever. So, may risk na talaga sila. Tapos, syempre, during pregnancy, because they're doing all the tests, doon nalalaman na may diabetes pala. And of course, if you have diabetes to begin with, then there's a high chance that you're going to develop it. If it's not treated or managed as early as possible, your baby could have a higher than average birth weight. So, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang lumaki larger than his or her ideal birth weight during his or her like gestational age. So, ang risk nun is, pag sobrang lumaki siya, there's a risk for premature or preterm delivery. And, syempre, if hindi pa term ng baby mo, let's say, kailangan mo mag-deliver at 35 to 37 weeks, may mga risks, diba? Kasi mas risky pag mas maaga ipanganak yung baby. And then, there's also, kasi nga, malaki siya masyado. Kumbaga, kakailanganin na siyang i-deliver bago siya lumaki na sobra. And then, it will be very dangerous for both the mommy and baby to deliver through natural means kung sobrang laki na. So, preterm delivery, pwede ka ma-CS. So, usually, most mommies, of course, want to avoid both of those things. And then, there's also a risk of both the mommy and the baby also developing type 2 diabetes later on. The good news naman is, ina-assure naman ako ng doctors ko na hindi naman lahat ng merong gestational diabetes or GD ay nagkakaroon ng diabetes talaga. Most of the time, after you give birth, nawawala na yung diabetes. Bumabalik na yung sugar levels sa normal and you monitor it for like a period of 2 to 5 years. I'll talk about that later on. Pero yun nga, there's still a risk. So, I think the earlier you manage it and the better you manage your sugar levels if you get diagnosed with it, the better. Hindi nga talaga ako. How did I find out that I have diabetes? So, I wasn't diabetic naman, I think. So, I didn't have any symptoms and I think I've had a few random tests before. Wala naman akong diabetes. Although, both of my parents have high blood sugar. Although, they don't have diabetes. So, I wasn't at risk for being pre-diabetic. Pero, during a routine checkup in my second trimester, so my doctor ordered a blood sugar test routine before my 5th month. Parang ganun. Kumbaga, yung lumabas na result. Di ba nga pag hindi ka buntis, dapat 199 in the low. Kapag buntis ka, dapat 95 in the low. So, yung fasting sugar ko was 96. So, it was borderline higher. So, ang ginawa ng doctor ko noon, she asked me if I have a blood sugar testing kit at home. So, sabi ko noon meron, pero wala pala. Kasi akala ko yung mommy ko meron. So, I ordered one in online, on Lazada, through a seller, pangalan niya si iCare Philippines. So, they have a very good kit, a blood sugar testing kit with the lancet, the tester, the monitor, ganyan. So, pinag-monitor niya muna ako ng blood sugar ko with recommendations about my diet. So, in case of me, yung diet adjustments was lessen carbs. Kasi carbs like rice, bread, ganyan, they increase your blood sugar. And then, lessen fruits, kasi high sugar talaga yung fruits. And yun yung time na sabik ako sa fruits. Kasi masarap yung citrusy stuff sa mouth ko. And the hardest thing for me was to cut back on juice. So, sobrang addict ako sa fruit juice, milk tea, sa shakes, ganyan. Nag-develop ako ng sweet tooth weirdly nung buntis ako. And lahat ng meal ko gusto ko may drink because naglalaway din ako, ganyan. So, cut back on all of that and then monitor for a few weeks. Ngayon, nung nag-monitor ako lang ng gano'n diet adjustments, actually, yung fasting blood sugar ko, yung after meals, medyo mataas pa din. So, it means na yung sugar ko minsan 99, minsan above 100, ganyan. So, after a few weeks of just monitoring and diet adjustments, she referred me to a diabetologist in the hospital. So, si diabetologist naman, ang una niyang ginawa is he made me take the actual diabetes diagnosis, which is the OGTT. So, it's a procedure in the hospital na parang nag-fasting ako, tapos half day wala akong kinain. May ininom lang ako na super tamis na syrupy na medyo nakakasakang drink na 2 beses. Tapos, tinest yung sugar ko after 1 hour, after 2 hours, after 3 hours. So, dumating yung results nun. And, ito yung funny. Actually, yung after meal ko na 1 hour and 2 hours, pasado ako. So, normal. Pero yung fasting ko, yung sugar ko right before I took the sugar, bagsak. So, mataas than the 95 na ideal. I think 96, 98. So, ibig sabihin nun, my blood sugars normalize normally or go back to a normal level after eating, pero mataas yung fasting ko. So, sabi ni Doc, pag gano'n na 2 out of 3 lang yung pasa is positive na ako na may gestational diabetes. So, ang nangyari, we already discussed a management plan. Okay, so, the management plan, my doctor still recommended me to keep monitoring my sugar. So, meron siyang parang chart na binibigay sa akin na every day I monitor it at a specific time. Parang ganito. So, for example, there was 1 week yung plan was every other day before breakfast ako, so fasting. Then every other day after lunch, may isang day na before dinner, parang ganun. Or vice versa. So, I really had to check it every day. So, araw-araw ako nagpe-prick. So, I would prick my finger, I would get us straight, and then itetest dito. So, if you would see, ayan. So, ito yung blood sugar ko kanina. Actually, mataas kanina. Pero minsan, dino-double test ko para minsan kasi parang pag unang test mo mataas, then biglang hindi okay. Ayan. So, 92, may mga ganun. So, and then I also had to start taking insulin. So, kahit na second trimester ko pa lang, ganyan, pinag-insulin na niya ako. He started me at 4 very tiny units. So, I used Levemir, which is an insulin pen. So, it has a needle, and then I inject it on my tummy every night after dinner. So, I had to do that every day, and then monitoring talaga, and then of course, still the diet management. And then I have to email him the results weekly, and then we also met every month for my checkup. So yun. So 5th month pa lang, even when we went to Japan, when we went to Singapore, when I went to Bicol over Christmas, ganyan, i-insulin ako, nagbabantay ng sugar, at syempre, as much as possible, nag-avoid ng mga matatamis na pagkain. So yun. And carbs. Actually, yung matamis lang, yung chocolate, madali siya i-avoid. Yung carbs yung mahirap kasi well, I love bread to begin with, and syempre pag buntis ka, you're so hungry, and then yeah, so I love donuts, ganyan. So ang hirap talaga, pero yun. Well, actually, I still mostly ate what I want. Pero hindi naman ako nag-gain sugar like hoarder, syempre. Of course, I did my very best to like cut down talaga on sugar. Like, I avoided white rice talaga sa gabi. Wala na talaga akong juice for a while. Talaga yung donut. I forgot na. Pero, I still eat like every other week. Siguro pag yung pag-crave na crave ako. Actually, sabi ng doctor ko noon, kaya niya ako pinag-insulin na agad. Kahit nung parang borderline, blah blah blah. Kasi alam nga niya pag Christmas noon, and alam niya pag pregnant, mahirap talaga umiwas eat what you want, and they didn't want me to feel deprived. So they said better to manage it with insulin, and then just monitor your sugar, try to avoid, but don't deprive yourself. That was their advice. So still eat well, but try to balance it. So true enough, I've been mindful, but not totally like cutting out. So kasi may mga instances like in a Christmas or if at work, hindi mo maiwasan na you have to eat a little bit of carbs, a little bit of sugar, and syempre, the usual pregnancy cravings, which really affects your mood if you don't satiate it. So, I still ate a little bit of sugar. Pero, naging super ingat naman ako, I think. What happened was, so for a while, I was able to regulate it. So, I didn't, kumbaga nag-start kami sa super small dosage. Tapos, tinaas na namin unit by unit yung insulin until parang nag-plateau siya na the dosage was enough. Tapos, hindi na tumataas yung sugar level ko. Kumbaga, I'm meeting na the ideal na below 95, below 120, ganyan. Na full straight, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Pero, when I hit my 3rd trimester, like, starting 2 weeks ago, when I went 7.5 months na, ayun, ngayon, kasi nga 3rd trimester ko na, tumataas na naman ulit. So, sabi naman ng diabetologist ko nung Wednesday, it's really normal. So, we have to increase my dosage yet again. So, we're monitoring this week if that will help. So far, ganun lang naman. If pumapalo, adjust the diet, increase the insulin. So, basta may insulin, basta really just try not to increase my sugar level. Yeah. Si mommy yung nagkaka-gestational diabetes. So, ako yun. Si baby, wala siyang diabetes while he's in the womb because he has his own way of regulating his own sugar levels. And in fact, yun nga, kung mataas yung sugar ko, he released too much insulin. Kaya ako nagkaka-gestational diabetes. Parang ganun. So, he's safe. He doesn't have diabetes right now. But, yung risk factor lang talaga is baka nga maging siyang overweight kapag before I hit my term, which is 38 to 40 weeks. So, so far naman ngayon, he's normal. So, we have another ultrasound coming up probably next week. So, doon namin makikita if his birth weight is still okay. But during the last one, okay naman. Though medyo bumigat ako. But it's expected for me to have this growth spurt kasi nga 3rd trimester na. So, within the normal range pa rin naman daw. And then, yun. So, on the next checkup, we'll check his size. I hope to be able to determine whether he's getting affected or not. But, he doesn't have diabetes. And he will not have diabetes when I give birth. But, we will be monitoring. So him and me. After I give birth, after 1 month, we'll be doing the OGTT diabetes test again to check if my blood sugar levels have normalized. And then after that, I will be doing a checkup once a year for diabetes, just to check that I haven't developed type 2 diabetes or any type of diabetes. But on top of all that, it really has to be a lifestyle like adjustment for me to reduce the risks. So as much as I love donuts and fruit juice and milk tea, I really have to make sure that I never like indulge to the point where I will have long-term anything. And of course, I don't want to develop long-term diabetes because I've seen how scary it is. And of course, beyond the finances and the scary, you don't want anything that will compromise your life because you want to be healthy for your baby, right? So yun, so that's the story basically. So in a nutshell, gestational diabetes is common. Common enough that it could happen to like a lot of pregnant women. And if you develop it, don't worry because there are many ways to manage it. Not something to like be super stressed about. Although, admittedly ako, naging stressed ako nung na-diagnose ako. Actually, naiyak ako nun. Dahil parang I felt so guilty that bakit ba ako nag-donut, ganyan. Parang feeling ko kasalanan ko talaga na nagkaroon ako ng ganun. And I'm possibly putting the baby at risk. Pero my doctors naman said it's really not my fault. There's a high chance that my baby and me will not get like long-term diabetes later on as long as I'm managing it well during the pregnancy. And yun nga, hindi siya magiging overweight baby. So there are ways to manage it. Syempre, there's the discipline that you have, that you need to be able to check your sugar at appropriate times, that you need to take your insulin at appropriate time, and that of course you need to make the diet adjustments para hindi tumaas yung sugar mo beyond the point that you cannot be controlled anymore. So yun lang, and I hope that if you have gestational diabetes, don't worry. If you stumbled upon this because you were researching about things that happen when you're pregnant, don't worry if you get it. I think every pregnant woman naman, regardless kung may diabetes or not, pinagbabantay talaga ng sugar. Siguro yung next update ko about baby room or whatever. But that's it for now. Thank you for reaching this part, if you did reach this part. And I guess if you have more questions that I haven't covered here, I want to be able to support other mommies. I know how important it is to have a support group. So just leave a message in the comments, and then I'm always online naman for work and whatever, so I'll be answering. Okay, that's it. Bye.